All right. Here's the 4-hour euro dollar. So I'm going to zoom out, and we're going to look at structure leaves clues. See this closing line? Not the. Now notice it is not the wicks. See the close here? See the close there? This is a big deal. Now, if I switch to the daily, I have to zoom in to make that line make sense. So daily closes are slightly different. There's a 10 pip window here. Now, I said in the other video that if you had a buy limit sitting here, you wouldn't have got filled. Not till this morning. And what is this? Is there a Gartley in here? I don't think Akel Stokes or Jason Stapleton is going to tell you that they got in on D, that this was somehow D for them. I'm going to bet you all the money that goes through Forex. There's no way. Because for this to be D, where's B? B, X, right? No, here's X, here's D, here's B. And the guy that said I was doing Gartley wrong, what he doesn't seem to understand is that the whole point of Gartley is this is B, this is D, this is X. Because if your stop's here and you're buying here, and they've trapped the B guys. But this is true that bottoms become tops. It's more true than anything. In this inflection point, like I said, you could have bought, you could have started buying from here. You could have loaded the wagon. And look at all the money you made today. Did you care what the news was? Fuck the news. You know where they were just before the news broke? Just before the news broke, you know where we were? Right here. Boom. Boom. 150 pips? Is there any fucking Gartleys in there, people? Come on. Stop it with the Gartley. This is auction. The only thing in auction I agree with is that the edge. Balance area, maybe take something off the table. Is anybody selling up here? And why would they sell up here at the round number? Did any sellers just come in here? Are we selling here? Yes, of course. Right? We're either selling at the market or we're selling right there. Right there. Sell, sell, sell. Is this thing going to come flying back to here? No. That's probably it. Stock could come back to here. So buyers are going to come back in here. Buyers come back in here. When this is rocketing down, if you had 20 pip stops, you got stopped out. But if you waited and your pending sitting here, your pending could have been sitting there since this day, waiting for, and can we just say that probably somebody had a stop here. Now, what's better risk-to-reward ratio? The Stapleton risk-to-reward ratios look like this, and they're just so humble. Well, we're going to risk this much to make this much. How about you risk this much to make all those pips? What's that ratio? 20 to 1? What is a 20 pip stop, or even a 10 pip stop, to make 160 pips? 10 to 160. That's 16 to 1. That's conservatively 12 to 1 ratio. Risk 1 to make 12. Would you take that trade? No, I don't know, man. Sounds impossible. You know, I may be cussing, I may be pissed off, but there's a reason for that. I always knew there was a trick to trading. Nobody ever said, well, you know, and look at this one. Can I get a show of hands, people? You bought this. And maybe you're still along from there just going, oh yeah. Not to mention, nature pours a vacuum. This is the vacuum. This is the void to fill. No, the euro's not going to par. And now, everybody's like bullish. So what's next week's trade plan? If we're lucky, it's come back to here. It's probably going to be a big choppy mess next week as it tries to distribute this, if it ever does. Maybe you scalp it today for like 30 pips down. Where was your targets when you bought down here? Well, the logical target is going to be up here. You're out. Trade's over. Go home. Get drunk. Huh? Was that a lot of work? No. That's really bizarrely how that wasn't a lot of work. It was just well, I guess the confirmation is that trend line break, find support. The stop hunt. You could have had a buy limit there. Forgot the stop hunt concept of, oh, I'm making money against the you can just, you know, with the amount of people talking about building 7, I just hear, forget the building 7 people, it was on fire. If you think building 7 was taken down by the government, that's why you're losing at trading too, because you got your head firmly planted in your rectum, obviously, right? So you'd say, well, I could, yeah, you know, where's the next target for the bulls? This bottom. Do they want the stops here? Anybody stops. Is this going to fuel it? And what made this market rocket up so hard? Does anybody wonder? Well, let me see. There's robots with stops. The bears have their buyback stops here. And when I say stops, I mean these are buy stops for the bears to protect their shorts because they made money all the way to here, right? Is this the head? Is this a shoulder? Is this a shoulder? This is a shoulder too. So, having strict rules, like, you know, go with what you see. Go with the simple stuff. Simple wins every day. Is there a bear? The last holdout bear has his buyback stop here. Do you want to put your sell limit there? Yes. Today's signal service says put your sell limits here for a pullback of whatever. Right? You have scalp. This is a whole thing going on up here. You're already out of this thing. Maybe you're going to move your stop to break even. You got in here. You're going to move. You bought here with a stop here. You moved your stop to break even. I know a guy like that. I guess I've met too many traders. He's holding out for the euro to go to 120. He'll take nothing off the table till he gets to his target. What a trooper. But who wants to give up this many pips that you just made in about 5 minutes? I don't know. How about in a half an hour, you made all that money? So it's just silliness. It's just damn silliness. Don't be silly, people. You be silly if you're a clown. What am I, clown? You know, you know, it's just, but you just, you know, people are overcomplicating this stuff. It doesn't matter. Like, well, the Gartley people would say, well, I was long here because, you know, can you find a bat wing in here? Do you need to? That's a daily. Now, weekly. Weekly speaking. And not to mention, it's just about this fact that it's at the 100. Now it's up. You're up 200 pips now. Man, I'm telling you. Do not overcomplicate this game. It's stupid. Just because you have an intellect doesn't mean you apply it to them. I mean, I guess the intellect is in realizing just how you've been duped. How simple it really is. There's a doji right here. This little zigzagness. So your sell limits or your targets are there. So one man's target's the other man's entry. It's not that hard, man. It's really not. It's hard to believe is what it really is. It's hard to believe it is this stupid easy. There's a guy, this black dude out there that's got this thing, if you do a Forex search, and you just type in Forex in YouTube and just give me the last week's or last day. And it's called Forex is so darn easy. He's right, but he's not a great trader. He can't even see the forest for the trees, and that's what I'm saying about this closing prices. You know, if you put the candles on there, what would you have told people about the market with those candles? Would you say stuff like, well, or the confirmation entry? God, this is a bullish candle. I've got a pin bar. I'm waiting for confirmation. You cannot wait for confirmation. And when they say it's making a higher high, I'm thinking, I'm ready to sell. I mean, it's a buy low, sell high game. Everybody knows that, right? At least your broker's aware of that one. So yeah, a lot of pips, very short period of time. Another thing, don't trade the news. Well, I was long before the news. I got long last night. I bought more when we took out that low. I loaded the wagon all night long. All night long. All night. So, this whole thing. I'm just trying to be a myth buster. I'm trying to be a building 7 buster. Why do people want to be a victim? I guess because that's what happened to this country. Poor me. Oh gosh, can I get some type of, even these people at the 401, the people that were getting all these tax profit-free things, and then the government's coming down on them. Dude, you're one that signed up for some type of little hand-holding. You signed up for it. Don't be surprised if your dentist, puts you under with nitrous and molests you. You're signing up, right? Maybe that's not a good analogy. I haven't had my coffee yet. But we should be responsible for ourselves, right? We should be independent thinkers. You shouldn't be going around with the crowd and you can only imagine what people were saying. Oh, it's in a downtrend. We've given up half that move. Now, here's what the Fibonacci people are going to say. Look at from here to here, we're at the 50 level. Are you going to sell here? We're probably still going up. We're probably going to go up here. Think about where people have the bears have their buyback stops, so they don't lose any more. That's going to be a big deal. This was the bottom, they became the top that caused that plunge, but it's really everything's ricocheting off everything else. I mean, maybe it's too simple, and that's why I'm a big. If you listen to Dr. Leonard Peikoff, has this thing called complexity worship, and he says, "Oh, it's too simple," and people say, "Oh, that's too simple," and he says, "How?" And all the intellectuals, all the sophisticates would say, "Well, it just can't be that simple." It can't. But it is. So now what? Right? Anyways, that's my update, and it's that. It's over for today. We're probably going to still keep going for another 3 pips here, looks like. So maybe you scaled out of some of this. Maybe you took some off. I'm going to be selling up here as it goes up. Like I'm putting sell orders in up there. That's all there is to it. It's buy low, sell high. Let it go up. Selling into the top of this. We're going up another 20 pips now. The stock market hasn't even opened up yet. So, God knows what's going to happen when that happens. And I don't care what the news was. And if you're judging this move on the news, then you've really got problems. If you're going to fundamentally try to wrap your brain around, well, it was a good report. And you look at Forex Factory and you open up that window and it says, good for the currency. It always says good for the currency. It's utter retardation. It's just a retarded mess. And that's just how, this is how it is, right? So, if you wanted to have one trade a week, that was it, huh? I think so.